Today, I have with me Valeriia Zlobina. How can a company create a great lead generation?
One of the most critical skills is to find anything about any contact anywhere.
You are a successful manager, wife, and a mother. How do you manage to combine all this?
You need to be creative, inventive.
How do you cope with stress?
I just got one word in my head, which is resilience. I'm not alone at Infopulse. I'm the part of the great team.
Oh, you broke it down beautifully. Thank you. Hello everyone and welcome to our Project Pulse Time on our YouTube channel, Infopulse Community. As you know, on this show, I have the privilege and the opportunity to speak to many different European experts from the IT industry. And today, the topic of discussion is business development and marketing. Hello everyone, I have another very special guest with me today, a professional in the field of business development at Infopulse, but she's also skilled in marketing, sales, consultancy, but above all else, she's a mother. Obviously, she dips her toes in many fields, and how is she able to cope with all this and still be very successful? It's my pleasure to introduce to you today. I have with me Valeriia Zlobina.
Yeah. Hello.
Pleasure to see you. Pleasure to meet you.
Happy to see you. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm very well. Excited to talk to you.
Yeah.
I'm sure that we're going to have a great conversation.
Yeah. So let's
talk about business development. Talk about you, your development, your expertise, and let's have a nice chat. And I'm looking forward to learn more about your profession.
Yeah, we'll kick it off.
In front of us, we have obviously this lottery ball. I'm gonna pick a ball and I'm gonna ask you a question. Or you're gonna pick a ball. How do you want to do it? You're gonna pick a ball?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's go.
Here it goes.
Thank you. So, the first question. Before business development, you were engaged in marketing. Did your previous specialization help you in what you do now? And can you explain? So your experience as a marketer before, did it help you in any way to be a good professional in business development?
That's true. I actually really started from the marketing quite a long time ago before joining business development at Infopulse. And I must say that my experience is quite on the edge between marketing and sales right now and before I joined business development. And actually that combination gave me the right dimension and the right angle that and perspective that I could use in my activities. And well, if it makes sense, I started not in IT. I started actually in quite different industry. It was automotive.
Oh wow!
And actually, this is my first love, and I still love cars.
Really?
But not cars, but I would rather say vehicles
overall.
So the
whole structure, the mechanic. Mechanic aspect.
Yes, and this for me it's like a magic.
Wow.
Yeah, how it works and these engineering ideas that are put inside. Yeah, that's magic.
Oh, I'm sure you know about cars more than me. That's for sure.
Might be, but I'm not sure.
No, I'm horrible. Maybe after we talk about business development, let's talk about cars.
Definitely. Yes, I have my car. Outside. We can try it. Yeah.
Is there any correlation between business development and marketing? What are the common aspects?
I would say that business development is some kind of a continuation of marketing, and it leads to sale. So if we have a look at the pipeline, for instance, then marketing is more responsible for the filling in the pipeline and generating the incoming something, traffic, leads, whatever, inside the funnel. Then business development does the communication with prospects on a bit lower scale, like marketing is doing many to many. Business development is doing a bit less to many, and the sales then doing one-to-one communication when processing the requests and when generating the new revenue and then conducting the deals.
And all those, let's say, fields have to work together constantly with good communication in order to lead to the results.
It's all about the communication, it's all about the collaboration, and it's all about building great teams that are driving, that have internal drive, and then that are very energetic and enthusiastic. So this is all about that.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it does not have the beginning. It does not have the ending actually, because after the sales contact the deal, the new cycle starts. Yes.
Continuous project.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. True. Oh.
Next question.
Let's do this.
Greenish.
Greenish.
The color of energy. You're a successful manager, wife, mother. How do you manage to combine all this?
This is a brilliant question. I love such type of questions because it gives the broad options to answer. Yeah. First of all, I must say that I'm not alone. I'm inside the teams at work and at home, and the team, both teams are very much supportive and mature. And efficient, and so I just love being inside the teams that I have and that have me actually. And this is from one hand. Another hand, being a mother, well, I must say that I'm quite a strict mother.
Yeah.
How
strict?
And quite demanding, maybe. And yeah, well. There is no right or wrong answer what mother to be. First of all, and this is the most important, I have to exist and I have to be with my daughter, and I have a daughter, by the way. Yeah. And I have to bring all I can to her, I give her the opportunities to grow, to develop, and then to become an independent person. And she's already 16, and I hope that she will be a very independent person, and I already see lots of signs for that. And as I said, I'm quite demanding and strict, and we are not agreeing, let's put it this way, all the time. So sometimes we have arguments, sometimes I do not agree with her, sometimes she does not agree with me. But at the end of the day, I actually look at her in many different situations, and I think, damn, she's good. She's doing
Damn,
right.
she's good.
Yeah, she's doing right things,
Nice.
and hopefully I did something right as well to bring up her like that.
Do you see her maybe following your footsteps?
No.
No?
No, and that was another milestone and stage of my becoming more mature, when I realized that we are absolutely different personas, and we are separate, and there is no other option for me to expect from her doing something that I expect or plan for her. She will do everything on her own, the way she wants, in the pace she can. So like, we are separate, we are different, and that's okay. So, and
maturity on all levels.
Yeah, maybe.
As I know, she has a YouTube channel, if I'm not mistaken. Do you help her with this endeavor?
She has a YouTube channel, and she has it for a long time already. But the content on this channel is changing from time to time. So now she has another stage of sweeping out of all the old content and keeping only few records that she considers to be okay. And now she focused on another toy, I would say. It is another channel, another tool. And
different content.
Different content, and actually I'm not really fond of that.
Okay.
And I try to direct her maybe to more productive, not productive, it's a bit incorrect to say so, but direct her to the things that will position her in the future or bring her in the future more benefit.
Understood.
More knowledge, more experience, more competences in something. But she's quite stubborn in all ways, positive, negative, whatever. And I think maybe this her being stubborn and independent in this
will definitely help her.
Yeah. So
in the future,
like, I stopped being very anxious about that, and I see in this like her building up herself as an independent person, being responsible for what she does.
Perfect. How long have you been at Infopulse? For how long?
5 years already.
For 5 years.
Yeah.
And
more than 5 years.
And you cover so many fields at Infopulse. How many people exactly do you manage at Infopulse when it comes to business development?
Currently, I have about 20 direct reports.
20?
Yeah, and I also have additional team, which I do not manage directly because they have their own manager. But anyway, we are cooperating very close.
When it comes to business development in your team, can you give us exactly the specifics? How many people are in business development, marketing, sales?
Okay, let's put it this way. I drive quite a number of functions in business development as a department. One of the key functions is lead generation and digital marketing. Another function, and coming back to the lead generation and digital marketing, this is the beginning of the sales funnel.
Yeah.
Not the very one, but the next step. Then the next team is also very important, and it is a team of bid managers.
Yeah.
They are helping sales people, sales population with preparation of the commercial proposals and with making proposals as best as we can deliver. And this is like the next step of the funnel. So we already covered at least 2 steps. Then the next, the following function is analytics, because of course we need to measure everything we do and to analyze whether we were successful or not. And this additional team, I should have started from then, actually, because this is strategy. Yeah, and this is the cornerstone for everything we do, because this year we changed a lot our approach, and we now base our go-to-market strategy on more precise and analytical ground.
Does the analytics team set the KPIs when it comes to the future strategy?
They help, of course, but this is up to the relevant managers to decide upon the KPIs. We recommend, we then measure, we track the statistics in the long run. So we have some kind of trust in our data, so we have enough data. And then we propose something, we implement new metrics, and we come to relevant managers, and then we consult whether it is relevant to them, whether they want to see another dimension, or maybe they are good with what we showed them, and they can set this parameter as a target, for instance. So it goes like that.
Oh, you broke it down beautifully. Thank you.
Welcome.
Hello guys, I have a special task for the most loyal post-time viewers. I need you to count how many times has our brand name, Infopulse, been mentioned during the whole 2nd season. Whoever gets this right will receive a special secret box from me at the end of the year. Should we move on to the next one? Let's do it. You have the honor. Thank you. Well, a basic question for you, but let's answer it anyways. What is a business development specialist, and what does he or she do? A general question. We've been through it, but our audience is interested in that. So,
well, if we look back, like 5 years ago when I joined Infopulse, we did completely different thing in comparison to what we do right now.
Okay.
And actually, we started almost from scratch when I joined Infopulse and developed the whole system, the whole approach from scratch. And now I can say that each lead generation specialist that we have, this is, and all together in combination, they are like lead generating machine, very having so many talents. And like one of the most critical skill is to find anything about any contact anywhere. So to find, I don't know, below the ground, if it is correct to say so, and like answering your question, what they do. On a daily basis, they search for the right contacts from the right companies that we target in the targeted countries.
Where the company outsources.
And then they analyze. They do lots of analysis about the personas that they are targeting. What are the interests? What of the persona? What this person may be in need of? And then, based on the analysis, lead generation specialists do their choice and start the conversation with this person. I don't want to disclose the mechanic in detail, because this is something that we would like to keep to ourselves. But how we build the conversation is one thing, but we try to build it like very humanly. We do the conversation, we follow, we like, we comment, and then we build the trust, and then we try to solve the potential problem that the person might have.
On a personal level, what qualities do you think a person should have in order to be a successful business developer?
This is the combination of sometimes quite opposite features. First of all, a person needs to be able to cope with the repetitive tasks in a good way. And from the other hand, this person have to be very good at analysis and at the same time quite creative in finding the right approach, right words to contact the person, and of course fearless, because you can be easily facing sometimes quite rude feedback.
I guess that's in every industry, in every profession. So it's a combination of skills: communication skills, marketing skills,
of course,
organizational skills,
self-organization,
absolutely,
and creativity.
Should we move on?
Yeah.
And the next question is, those balls are very comfortable. Okay, how do you cope with stress? And how do you help the team cope with it?
While you were asking me this question, I just got one word in my head, which is resilience.
Wow, it's a good word to get in your head.
I think it became quite popular right now, but its history in our team, in my team, started when the pandemic came. And that was the first change and the first challenge that we faced, because it brought lots of uncertainty, another setup in the work, broken connections, build new connections, and so on. So since that time, I've been building resilience in the team and in myself, of course, because if I'm not resilient, then how can I build something resilient?
Of course,
as well?
You have to portray it.
And I must say that the team that I'm working with is absolutely beautiful, because they have so much power, and actually they have superpowers. Each one has a superpower, and they're very supportive to each other, and caring and very responsible, and I'm in love with how they work, and I enjoy being one of them, and I actually don't even need to do anything. Just be there and enjoy that. Why I'm saying that? Step by step, with time, with maybe right things, maybe with something wrong, but we managed to build a resilient team all together, and we are quite a good system and very stable, and this is the way we cope with stress. And of course, work-life balance. I force everyone not to stay long, not to work overtime, not to work on the weekend. I recommend everyone try to solve everything as most as you can via emails. Don't go to the meetings. To do your work within like the time that you have for work. Yes. And have your hobbies and switch off and recharge your batteries. Every weekend, and we have a tradition that I hear that many people like. Every Friday we start the Scrum meeting with Happy Friday, and this is something that is like quite stable. We repeat it weekly, and it is already a tradition and something that we can stick to.
That's a good tradition to have, I think. How much do you think the culture of Infopulse contributes to your attitude towards this resilience? Let's say how you developed it. Of course, you work with you portray it towards your colleagues, but at the same time, I'm sure that the company itself has to have a culture. Let's say values, maybe.
I think it resonates a lot. Something Infopulse influenced this approach. I influenced Infopulse approach, and this is what we have. But this this culture is very similar. Infopulse influenced what we do and those values, and as a result we have something quite very typical for many companies with big share of Scandinavian influence.
Understood.
Yes, this is what I mean. And normally it results with working with passion, with respect to individuality, and with enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm, okay.
Yeah, and this is what the team has inside, and this is the culture that we have inside. I don't know where it came from, Infopulse purely, my influence, or that was a lucky coincidence, yes, that we all got together and we have this.
I'm sure that's a perfect fit.
Yeah.
So far, so good. Should we move on? Thank you. How did your experience in being a business development specialist help you in other areas of your life?
Well, this is very
easy
and beautiful question. Yes.
Let's get into it.
Well, first of all, it helped me directly because being a business development specialist, you need to be very creative and at the same time very focused. And then you start looking outside the box and doing all the things you have never done before. Within business development, within generating leads, and in your life actually. So you start solving your tasks in a very creative way.
Outside of the box.
Yes, yes.
And did you have to develop any personal traits in order to be a successful business development specialist? Like, when you started at this position, did you feel that you lacked something, that you need to develop something even more, or to perfect something even more?
Well, definitely yes. If we could compare myself 5 years ago and myself now, it's two different persons, of course. And when I started, I clearly knew that I lack at least 2 areas of knowledge of my competence. First of all, that was purely services that Infopulse provides and the technologies, and I was absorbing all the information like the sponge, if that's
the
good
technical
to say.
aspect. Let's
yes, technical aspect. Yeah, and then another area and competence that I developed, it's knowledge and being able to master all new approaches, new tools, whatever it is, because and of course following up the market trends in what the market needs and uses, and following on the market limitations, because for instance GDPR may pop up, something like that, that limits your activity and forces you to create something new, how to work, how to deal with that limitation. So yes.
Constant development.
Yes.
Sweet. All right. And right now we have a special question from an Infopulse specialist expert.
Hello, my name is Anna. I'm Business Development Manager at Infopulse. My question is how to get maximum leads with a minimum budget.
It's quite tricky and it does not have the clear answer, but on top of that, you must be smart. You must be doing smart things, not like working smart, not hard. Because if you are limited with budget, you need to be creative, inventive, and you need to find the ways to minimize the budget and to be as efficient as possible.
So, can you give us some examples how to work with limited budget and how to generate good leads when it comes to having a limited budget?
I hope I don't need to explain what limited budget is.
No, I think everyone is familiar with that.
Yes, exactly. But once you face such situation, you need to do the analysis of what you already have in your arsenal, if I don't know this word exists, or in your portfolio of tools. And you need also to have a look at what you have in your network. Maybe you have ex-colleagues who have left for another companies and have been promoted there, and now they are in your target audience profile. Or maybe you have some ex-colleagues or persons from your network that are in the position of being partners or potential partners for you, and such partners can maybe resell you or promote you to someone else, or maybe to connect you with someone else. And this is one of the, I would say, cheapest ways to do that. But this would be applicable to the low size company, small size company, or maybe startup. And Infopulse is not a startup, so here we would be maybe more creative in combining such channels, or maybe inventing something else. And to actually do, because even we have the budget, we anyway need to be cost efficient. That's the core.
I'm guessing this secret colleague which asked that question doesn't like the limited budget situation, so maybe we should...
Or maybe the opposite, I don't know.
Okay, so let's continue with our regular scheduled program. Why does a company need a business development specialist? What do you think, at what stage does a business realize that it needs a business development team?
This is a beautiful question.
I hope so.
And I suppose the answer to why is because the company grew, because the company evolved and grew to be another size. And simple marketing is not enough to transfer the lead to the sales, because something else has to be done in order to push the lead from one stage to another. And this something is actually business development. And business development in this way is generating leads from one hand, and from another hand is nurturing them and warming up and making them more sales ready and being transferred to sales.
So depending on how much the company grows, hopefully grows consistently, then you can see the need and you can feel the need of a business development specialist in your team.
Correct.
Which can generate all that information and push the company forward.
Correct.
Let's do it. What is the difference between a solution consultant and a solution architect? Kind of a tricky question.
The difference is huge. It's completely different roles and different functions. And the story for solution consultants began more than 3 years ago, when, after analysis of how the sales process is set up in Infopulse, we understood that we do not have many things standardized, and everything is very much different, and every time we some kind of invent the wheel when sell our services to the customer. And on top of that, sales manager is focusing not on selling, but rather on preparing the commercial proposal, the contract, and so on. So this brought us to the idea of creating the special function supporting the sales manager in this way, in this journey. And we call this function a solution consultant. The core functions, the core tasks of this function is actually bid management.
Okay.
But it's a bit more than simply bid management, because we also, bid managers and solution consultants, basically they also can vision the solution that we put into the proposal. So that's the main idea.
So they need to have, I'm guessing, great understanding of the product itself.
Yes, services.
On a technical level.
Absolutely. And solution architect is the function on the delivery side, and this is very technical position, advanced technical position of the person who also does the vision, but of the technical aspects of the service or solution that will be sold.
Do you need a technical background in order to be a solution consultant? Is it necessary?
It would help,
it would
of
help,
course,
yeah?
but it is not necessary.
It's not necessary. Okay.
It is rather business.
More business related.
Yeah, business focus.
Let's do it. Okay, what problems can be encountered in your field of work? What, let's say, obstacles you may face?
What obstacles? Let's not stick to the pure lead generation because it's very narrow, and it has already, of course, specific limitations. For instance, let's widen up our horizon, and I would not put it as a problem, but the challenges in sales overall, as business development is the foundation for sales, of course. So the main challenge may be the macroeconomical situation.
Understood.
Yeah, crisis, economical crisis, war, whatever. Change of the environment, maybe some black swans, in the positive and in the negative, meaning innovations in products, innovations in tools, new legal requirements, for instance, and so on. Anything can be a game changer, anything can be a challenge, and what we need to understand what this can bring with itself, and how we can tackle that in order to minimize the negative impact, or maybe in order to maximize the benefit for us. So,
do you have like an example maybe of let's say an obstacle which you faced, which you really had to think about it hard, how to maneuver, let's say, around it and overcome it?
During the past years, like I can name a few milestones / challenges that changed the way we work. First popped up the GDPR implementation in the European market, and we had to adapt to that. We had of course, to learn and to learn and understand in every detail this challenge, so that we can build the tactics towards it. We did that. Now it is quite understandable, and we understand how to deal with that. The next milestone / challenge was the pandemic, and when it started, of course, we all understood that the world is going online, and we need to remind about ourselves, and we also went online, and this resulted in a very big number of online webinars that we held in the very beginning, but then another challenge came. The audience people, they just got tired of being online. They went offline, and of course we met them there because we felt this mood already when it started, and we met them offline at the offline events, and it felt very cozy, and it was the big relief for people actually to go offline, to meet in person.
They were thirsty for
they were
socialization.
thirsty for absolutely. And what was the next challenge was last year, the boost of war in Ukraine, and it was shock and the biggest challenge we faced ever. But then we understood how resilient we are. As I mentioned, and I think we managed it perfectly, despite the fact that the team is very much distributed, and the team is actually international. The part that is located currently in Ukraine is doing a great job. Without further ado, without any delays, and they are even more productive than before.
And our favorite word, resilient.
Resilient, yes.
And Valeriia, I'm familiar with the fact that you're a volunteer as well in your native Ukraine, and you mentioned the word resilience several times. How did being resilient helped you, motivated you, led you to be a volunteer?
I think each Ukrainian is a volunteer.
It absolutely is.
In different scale. And how did it help me? I think it just, there is no way to step back, and that's why there is only one option. Either you do something yourself as a volunteer, or you donate. It depends upon the situation and the mood. Once I donate, next time I deliver something to Ukraine, and that's it. Speaking about donations, we have different funds and different, we call it banks, like a jar. If we're speaking about donation, then it happens regularly, and I feel like everybody in Ukraine is doing that. And the things that I normally few times delivered to Ukraine, they are very much connected to emergency. And when it comes to volunteering and doing something, I'm pretty much connected and delivered already a few times to Ukraine equipment for firefighting. And when the war boosted, I was driving to the border and back, helping people to get from the border to inside Poland.
Understood. Ready to move on with the next one?
Yes.
Let's do it. How can a company create a great lead generation? And can you give us some case studies from your personal experience?
Look at Infopulse.
Oh. Tell us a little bit more. Maybe, okay, so let's start from the basic.
Yeah, let's start from the basic.
What is lead generation?
Why are you asking about lead generation but not about business development? Let me interview you.
We covered business development. The topic of business development, it's a broad topic. At the same time, it can be very specific. It covers many fields. It requires many competences. And we talked about that. And you mentioned several times lead generation, lead generation. So I will return the question back to you by asking you, is there a difference when it comes to lead generation in marketing, lead generation in sales, lead generation in business development? Or do all three of these fields agree upon the same lead generation, and how does it work?
Well, I would say that lead generation is inside all the sphere which is called sales, marketing, business development. It is only the matter of perspective, or maybe the angle you are looking at. If you see there the lead generation in marketing or in something else. But so far it is just generating leads for a certain purpose, for a certain service, for a certain company. And of course, you always need to have this in the back of your head that the main idea is to generate revenue in the best possible way, and lead generation is one of the tools. There are different approaches, like many companies bet only on lead generation and treat it as the magic pill. Many companies say that the content is the king, and this is the opposite approaches, for instance. But I would say that the best approach is when you combine this, when you balance these outbound and inbound sources, and your portfolio of channels is diverse. And this will bring you as a company to the situation when you can adapt quickly to any challenging situation on the market. If you are focusing only on one direction or only on one tool channel, you are making your business a bit risky. Not the whole business, but the beginning of the funnel. So, and of course, this risk in the beginning of the funnel will affect with time on the end of the funnel.
And in your experience thus far, which channel, let's say, has been most successful to generate leads?
My answer would depend upon the country or industry, but I would maybe put top 5 channels that are always efficient in any company, in any sphere. And this is not the range like 1 to 3 based upon the prior, it is like random top 5. It is LinkedIn, it is inbound website when the content attracts the lead, for instance. It is events, especially events where you already have some kind of preset meetings one-on-one. Then emailing, I would still keep it as a good channel. And of course, the personal work of sales community when they generate leads out of existing customers, for instance. So this is account development.
Understood.
Those are my top 5 channels that I would keep in the portfolio anyway. So we can have other million other
depends on the country, of course, on the market,
but this is
5 main ones.
the range, the portfolio of channels that must have.
Great. So I think that, to be honest with you, I think we're done with the questions. But I have a question from me.
Please.
I recently graduated, high school, college, whatever. I'm interested and I want to follow, let's say, the footsteps of a business development specialist. How to start? Where to look? Should I start maybe, first of all, look through for an internship, develop steadily, or online courses? Like, what advice can you give to a young me, a young Dion, let's say, who is motivated in order to become an expert in this field of work?
I'm not sure that there is any right or wrong answer to your question, but my recommendation would be, first of all, stay motivated, and there will be no boundaries for you. Then, second, it is a very good idea to start with the internship, and we, in our team, we already have quite a few very successful interns that stayed much longer with us than internship and already a senior.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, they started indeed like interns, even not trainees, but interns. And now they are senior people in lead generation, which is beautiful.
Of course, shows that the company invests in young talent and makes the search to go.
Being at the entry level, of course, you need to stay very much hardworking. And I would also recommend to pass the trainings and additional courses on Udemy, for instance, or on LinkedIn, because it broadens the horizon a lot. Even after a few months, this tool may be a bit outdated, but you will still have the understanding of what's meant by saying lead generation, or then broaden your horizon like by business development.
Understood.
And as a basis, actually, I would also recommend to do the classical studies in marketing and sales potentially. So you can start there with Kotler, the base
introduction to marketing.
Yeah, the foundry level, and then you can go to solution selling, which is, I think, absolutely a beautiful approach to sales.
And I would say, whoever is interested to become a business development professional, they should listen to this interview maybe, and hopefully get your.
I hope so much that it will bring a lot of value to the audience and to newcomers and to everybody who is interested. I have an idea, a quiz to the audience. Please name the best performing channels for lead generation in 2023 in both quality and quantity, and describe why you think so. And the best answer will get one of the books that I mentioned today.
You mentioned in the beginning of the interview your love of cars. Talk to me.
Yeah, I do. I not
you
only
can
cars,
talk about
but
it all
vehicles.
Vehicles, the whole mechanic.
I love driving, and I love very much traveling by car. It does not matter if I am the driver or I'm the passenger.
Yeah.
I just love it. And countryside, driving and looking everywhere, watching the nature, watching the road. And this is, even when I drive alone, this is some kind of a meditation for me.
Really?
Yeah, I love that. I don't know why.
But it is like that.
Yeah, it is.
I'm happy that you mentioned the countryside. I'm happy that you mentioned that you're a nature person. And as a token of my appreciation for being here, for talking with me, having this great interview, I would like to present a small gift, hopefully which you can use.
Oh my God.
With your wonderful family when you spend some time in the nature.
Oh,
and use it wisely.
This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
I hope you would use it. Really.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Spending time in nature.
This will live in my car.
Picnic, blanket, everything that you need to have in order to have a pleasant evening in the wilderness, let's say.
True. It looks awesome.
Valeriia,
thank you very much.
Thank you very much for being here with me.
Yeah.
I hope that you had a great time. I hope our viewers enjoyed our nice little talk, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you so much, and I hope very much that there will be a value from my interview.
Oh, there was definitely value for me.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.